Hi, my name is Ainur and this is Creative Stories with Ainur. On my channel I show how to paper craft. I make flowers by cutting patterns mostly on my Cricut machine, but also manually with scissors. I also show how to put those cut patterns into 3D flowers. I'm starting a new series of videos to introduce paper crafting to beginners who want to explore their creativity through paper and 3D model making. And paper is a perfect material for that. It's easily available in shops and it's easy to glue and biodegradable. And in this video I will talk about the types of paper you can use for your paper crafting projects. We begin with flat color paper. This is a type of paper I use the most to make my paper flowers. The main properties to such paper are the thickness and the surface finish. The way you work with paper highly depends on the thickness of paper. Here I want to emphasize that you can start with a regular white photocopy paper for your printers. It is pretty thin, 70 grams per square meter, but it is an easy paper to start with, and you can make complex shapes out of it, and you can always make the next version in color and thick paper. If you are aiming to have a neat result with this paper, I would recommend you to use a glue stick when gluing thin paper. When you apply liquid glue to thin paper, it tends to get all curvy and wavy everywhere, which doesn't go away as the paper dries out. The glue stick doesn't give any distortions to the flat surfaces. But I personally find any liquid glue to be stronger as adhesive than a glue stick. Moving on to a thicker paper. In my paper crafting projects, I would classify 170 grams color paper as medium thickness. For me, this is the ideal paper to create flowers. The thickness of paper is perfect to make something sturdy, but it is also thin enough to bend and curl without making the paper crack. For the type of paper crafting that I do, and the one that I want to introduce to you all, I recommend the thickness of paper between 120 and 170 grams. Let's talk about the surface finish of paper. The smoother the paper is, the more suitable it is for printing. Or let's say it differently, the color paper sold to be printed on is smooth. This makes gluing more difficult because the glue just doesn't get soaked up into the layers of paper. And we want the paper to absorb the glue for the better adhesion, which is important if you are making something complex or tensioned. You also have to wait longer for the glue to set with the smoother paper. However, you can still use color paper designed and sold as printing paper. Just give it more time for the glue to set and apply extra pressure for the layers to glue together. On the plus side of using color paper for printing, it is easy to find in shops and it is also cheaper than packs of paper for arts and crafts. But I prefer to work with softer surface finish paper. This pack of paper is marked for drawing and it holds the glue very well. My next category is thick paper, which actually falls into a separate category of cardboard and cardstock. I rarely use it because I design digital patterns to be cut on Cricut. It's just easier to cut thinner paper. But for crafting and cutting by hand, cardboard is a good material. I will film a separate video to teach how to work with cardboard or thick cardstock. It is different to paper crafting. Thin paper is more pliable to create curved shapes, but cardstock can hold the weight of your paper crafted projects. So use it as a base material for your projects. Here are some cardstock paper selections with special coatings to have more fun with. Check out my other videos to see what you can do with such papers. Let's talk about crepe paper. Crepe paper is a paper wrinkled up in one direction And it is also used to make paper flowers. It is a paper that covers piñatas on the outside, and it is also used to make hanging festive decorations. You can stretch those wrinkles out in paper to create curves. You can pinch the paper, you can fold paper into multiple layers to work with multiple layers at a time. In fact, the crepe paper comes as a roll to be cut to a desired width with one shear of scissors. It is a very forgiving type of paper, ideal to start your paper crafting projects. I will leave a link to my other video in the video description where I make a poppy flower. It is a simple flower to make and it doesn't require any patterns for that. Depending on where you buy your crepe paper, you can get some excellent quality ones and the ones most suitable for layering to make fluffy decorations. The super thin ones, they just absorb the glue so much, just like paper tissue, that working with them makes it difficult, but you can fix multiple layers of paper in one go. You can also use tape to hold the paper. Here I have a new pack of thick crepe paper. I find this pack was pretty expensive for what it has inside, but I'm looking forward to try it out since I'm used to working with flat sheets of paper. So this will be something new for me, but it will be for my other video. Now we will talk about the thinnest paper designed for paper crafting. The thinnest paper I know of is silk paper. It is a paper you use for lining presents or wrapping things to put into packaging. This pack is called transparent paper. It is 42 grams thick. I will put the details of paper I used in this video in the video description. I wonder what is the composition of such paper because it is stronger than the regular silk paper. And it's quite difficult to tear it. But I prefer to work with regular silk paper because I enjoy the fragility of it and it's also not so glossy. For gluing, use glue stick or tape. Such thin paper really soaks up the liquid glue and immediately stretches out, so you might end up with unwanted excess of paper. Silk paper can be used against some light windows to create something airy or layered. I recommend you to explore combining silk paper with thicker paper. These were the types of paper you can use for paper crafting. You could opt to recycle paper by cutting some old unwanted books, old maps, old packaging to use them creatively. It is really wonderful what each type of material can offer you. I will make a separate video about the color of the color paper. I will give you the biggest tip to get the best results in your projects. The color is very important. The difference between a paper art and DIY crafts can be just the choice of color. In the meantime, you can check out my other videos for your inspiration to choose paper. I would like to mention that paper has more properties to it. For example, the actual material composition of paper. Paper as a material can be truly a form of art on its own. To adore the look of it, the feel of it, and to explore all the different varieties. At Creative World Fair in Frankfurt, I saw papers made not only out of wood, but also using other natural materials like hemp, agave, banana, cotton, old jeans, and other. However, such paper are not usually sold at your local art supply stores. But what can you do instead? You can try out papers for aquarelle painting. They can vary in surface textures, surface finish. You can paint those papers to get unique colors. Something we can explore together in the next videos. If you like this video, hit the like button. I really hope you found this video useful. Check out the video description for more details on paper I showed here. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to learn more about paper, how to work with it, to see what you can create just out of flat sheets of paper. I also talk about creativity on my channel. and the benefits of nurturing your creative self. And paper crafting is one of the ways to do that. Until next time, stay creative.